Hello, everyone. Great Sunday. This is a beautiful Sunday from Bangalore. It was raining heavily for last few days. Now we are settled down. We are feeling good. And there's a good success story in front of you. Kiran from Indonesia, who cleared a PMP recently. How recently it is? 31st of October, he cracked it. Okay, so he's excited and he's so happy. First, congratulations, Kiran, for this achievement.
Thank you, Sriram. Thank you so much.
Great. So we'll see your certificate. Here it goes. So Kiran Raja Periyaswamy, on 31st of October, he cracked this exam. I'm sure he's delighted because a big burden or big effort has been done. Once the moment you complete the exam, that relief is, I think you can't describe by words. The 2 days you'll feel, oh man, totally free.
I still feel, really like right now, this weekend, I'm free. I'm like, what should I do?
What to do now?
I've been like last 3-4 months, I've been putting so much working, not studying all the minute I get. But now it's like, okay, what should I do now? What is the next step or something like that? And just feel free, relax.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Now I was conducting a ACP session. Just now session got over. I see most of the PMP certificate people come there. What happened here is they're used with some habit. Now they say, Shriram, I'll come and sit. Okay, let me listen something. don't want to lose the rhythm. That's how it is. Anyhow, I'm so happy for your success. So give a little background about yourself and what is the nature of life? What do you do?
So my bachelor's was in civil engineering, and I actually have a master's in project management. And after that, I was working for a construction company. I started off as a cost estimator and then worked my way to become a project coordinator in that role, in that company. And then now I'm working for a paper manufacturing company in the PMO office and as a project coordinator. So I'm well aware of PMP certification much before this because I did my master's. But at that time, again, it was all about the planning, the 5 phases, and not about the ecos and everything. So,
Right. So you are quite for a long time. You should be aware of PMP. That's the way you say.
Yes.
I get a feel you're aware of it. Very good. Nice
From
to know.
2015. Yeah, 2015, 2016 when I did my master's.
How much you see a master's in management is more connected to the PMP?
Masters in management. So what?
You did masters. You did masters in project management, right?
Yes.
So do you see that more or less both are same content?
The PMP and the masters?
Right.
Yes. So my course, everything they basically went through the PMBOK. So PMBOK was their base.
PMBOK subject.
This is not actually the MBA part of management. This is the engineering part. So they went through the PMBOK and everything. I mean, PMBOK was not our book, but they did constantly mention about PMBOK and the PMP certification, CAPM. So our courses actually was splitted, like one of our course was basically on planning. So our 6 months, our project or the final paper was basically a 6-month simulation of running a planning, and then you're doing the network diagram and everything. So using a different software. So our masters was basically based on the PMP certification.
Then the classes we conducted for PMP will be cakewalk for you. You'll be like, oh man, I know.
It was just brushing up for me.
Okay, that's pretty good. So
except for the agile aspect, because at that time it was purely predictive, everything. True. They did touch about lean methodology and change management, but less on agile.
Agile was yes. Okay.
Agile was brand new for me.
Right. See, we know Indonesia is a very booming market now. So as we talk about agile now, do you see people are aware of these agile factors, management factors? People are aware there?
So in my company, it's purely predictive. So I've talked to a couple of people. The managers, okay, they are aware of it, maybe to a certain extent, but I think no.
Implementation level, they are not aware of it.
No, it's a pure predictive methodology.
Got you. Fantastic. So all came together. Now you planned, you go for examination. So which book you preferred to read?
So okay, I just followed what you gave your. So you asked me, you before actually joining, I did went through the Rita book. So that actually gave me it taught the I mean the concepts pretty,
Basics.
in a basics in a layman's term, so makes it easier for people to understand. The PMBOK, even I didn't read the PMBOK even before. Even when I did my masters, I didn't read the PMBOK because it was like a really vague and like it was really difficult to study that. So
Right, right.
I
Okay.
did the Rita, and then the Mike Griffith for Agile you
Agile,
mentioned.
right.
Yes, and then
Right.
the Agile book as well.
Okay.
Once I started taking the mock, yes, then I just rushed through I just went through the PMBOK, and it was pretty easy to understand,
Right.
like at later
Right.
stages.
Right. So this is a feel I get from anyone. After they read the Rita, after they listen the class, now they'll read the PMBOK, they feel, oh man, it's connecting. Right.
Exactly.
If you start from the first day, it looks a little tough language. It depends. It depends on the mindset, how we are. Okay, that's good. So studies wise, I believe since you did masters, since you know this management for a while, I don't think studies would have been tougher for you. Whereas approaching towards examination while you practice, you would have found certain questions, even though you feel it's clear, but answers will keep on going wrong. And when you evaluate, it'll be little, oh man, what to do, how to improve. Did you have any tips and thought process how to improve the scores towards exam?
Definitely, and I think one of the things you mentioned was it really depends upon your mindset when you take the mock. That actually, once I took a full mock and then I was just going through the questions, I didn't just blindly saw, okay, what did I write and then what was wrong. I didn't do like that. What I did is in the PMI's study hall, it was more like you can select the confidence level of your exam, of your question. So for every question, I did write the confidence level. So once I finished, I just went through the medium confidence and the low confidence. Even though it is correct, I did go through again because I generally select high confidence if I'm confident enough that this is the answer, I write it. Okay. Medium confidence is when I eliminate two options and then it's between two options, which is the correct one. So when I have that thought process, I put it as medium confidence. Low confidence is I have three options or more that I don't know which one it is. So the medium, so those questions, I still try to do it again, even though I did it correct. Got it correct. And then I realized I do make mistakes again, even though I made it right during the mock test. Now it is wrong. Sometimes when I did it wrong in the mock test, the next day when I'm just going through it, I did it right. So I realized that it also depends upon the mindset for the day and the type pressure and all those things. And
Nice.
after that, good.
I'm liking that confidence level model where you are able to put something, because while you read the question first time, the mindset is different. While you evaluate, that's different. So when you mark the confidence level, when you read the question, it could have been high or it could have been low. When you evaluate, second time you're seeing the question now. So now you can see why actually I missed it, why it is right. I think that's a good idea. People practicing study hall can use that feature. Okay, that's a good tips from you.
Yeah.
All right.
And also, I do have one big tip I just want to mention as well. So what I realized that because I really encourage people writing your mock every Saturday, Sunday, because I realized sometimes the same question repeats maybe the third week or fourth week or something like that. And I realized that if I made a mistake, I did the same mistake sometimes. Even though I go through the wrong answers and then I try to understand the concept, I do the same mistake. So what I did is whatever mistakes I did, I made a flashcard out of it. I just wrote, and so that I used that to get the concept. So then after that, when I made that flashcard, that actually helped me understand the concept. Practicing it maybe once in 2 days or something like that every day, few flashcards from the mistakes that I did, that helped me close the gap on the mistakes that I did. That really helped me.
Interesting. That's interesting. Writing flashcards. Okay. Flashcards, in the sense you'll have a paper and a card, you write yourself, or in the computer do that?
In the computer, I just downloaded a flashcard template in Word, and then the front part I wrote the question, the back part, and then I printed out. So, and then I cut it out, and then I had small papers of it.
God, man.
And then I gave it to my wife, and then she'll be asking randomly sometimes, what is the answer to this? I made a laugh.
That's quite interesting. I think you took a lot of effort, man. Printing it, having it. Huh? Look at the way. Yeah. Look at the way. Look at the way. Nice. Good. Nice to know that the effort what you've taken now. And now towards examination, how is it in Indonesia? Is it center bases are encouraged? How it's there?
Because for me, the issue was my company, because it's lockdown time, we are not allowed to go out, or with a lot of restrictions. We cannot. So where I live, I'm not in a city. I'm like 2 hours away from the city. And to go there, it is like you still have to go, take the PCR test, everything, to just go out and come in. So I didn't want to go through that. And I don't think, and when they mentioned there was a proctor exam, I was just like, okay, I'll just take proctor. Because for me, I like to be in my comfortable space here. I prefer that. Even if there is an option for center based, I think I'll choose the proctor base. So I chose the proctor base.
Okay.
Yeah, so that
hope things went well. Things went well with the proctor. No issues.
It went well, but thank God I prepared for that, because there was little issues. Because my laptop specifically, I had some screen issues so I have a monitor. So I was under the assumption that I can use the monitor, but it was specifically mentioned that you cannot use the monitor. Yes. So, and there's no issues with the screen, but if I move the screen, sometime there is a chance of it having to reboot. The screen will go off and I have to reboot, and I cannot do that. So I asked my friend of mine, and I borrowed his computer, and he just bought a brand new computer in August or something like that. And since he has not used it. So he didn't even update his computer till that day. So 3 days before the exam, and they said, okay, it's better you try to join and then see your computer is usable and everything. So I tried it, and then it literally updated for 3 hours straight. The computer was so slow till then. It didn't allow me to, even when you open Google, it was not opening Google. So it was just updating. And I don't know, I think it's a new computer. So it was updating August update. It was showing August update, September update, every month update. It was not like a one final update. So it took like 3 hours for me to update.
I think it's a Windows.
Yeah, it is a Windows. So highly recommend people to, just prepare their computer before the exam, at least 2 days before the exam.
Right. That's a good message for the people. Yeah. Also, don't use office laptop.
I know we don't have office laptop.
That's a toughest thing, because office laptop will have firewall, which will not allow your application to work. Okay.
Even the personal laptop, I had an issue where for some reason, I think OneDrive or Dropbox. Dropbox had an issue. It never closed. Even I went to Ntask, I did everything, it didn't do. So I just uninstalled Dropbox. And then after the exam, I informed my friend that, hey, I deleted Dropbox. If you want, I can reinstall. He's like, okay, I don't use it. It was default installed, so it's okay. So,
Right. Certain things are there which blocks us, because it runs in the background. So PMI application, they will think that you're doing some malpractice. You're running an application, because being online, people try all the loopholes. Our guys are so clever guys, right? They use a lot of loopholes. So PMI trying to restrict it. Anyway, all went well. So exam part, I believe your time management is good. You're able to do within the time. No problem on that area.
Yeah, that again, I didn't have any issues, but time management is really, really important, and you need to do it from your mock test. And apart from that, okay, one issue that I had was 3 days before, when I was just going through the rules and regulations for the exam, they mentioned that you're not supposed to mumble, or you're not supposed to tell it out loud. And that was a big difficult for me, because I always read out the question, and that's how it gets into my mind. Or at least minimum I have to mumble. And when I saw that, I'm like, okay, this might be an issue. But I've never studied a question like just closing my mouth and then reading out. I couldn't do that. even when you're practicing, when you're in your this thing, I put we are mute, right? So I try to do it, but it's difficult because suddenly someone will talk in the middle, and actually you will be humming or doing some music, and that distracts me a lot. I don't tell you, but that distracts me a lot. So for me, it needs to be pin drop silence, and I need to be talking. But so for me, the first session was a nightmare. I couldn't read. I had to read the question 4 times, 5 times to even get into my mind, because I'm not mumbling, and it was really hard for me because I've never done that, and it was really hard for me. And end of first session, almost close the first session, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to clear this exam. That was my mindset, and I was like, okay. And I was just like, I'm reading the question, and my mind is like, okay, what I should do next after the exam. I know I'm not going to clear. What I should do next. Okay, this time I need to do like this. Like, why is my mind going there? Don't think like that. Just focus here. That was my thought process. And then after the first session, in the break, I convinced myself to, okay, calm down. Whatever it is, what it is, just move on and then do it. So, and then by the time of, so I mean, I did plan myself. You suggested, I think, 90, 70, 70 as a 3 session, but I took as 80, 70, 80, because from my mock test, I took 2 of your mock tests and 2 of your PMI. And I realized that the first session and the last session was the time I took more time. Probably because I didn't take any break in all the 4 mock tests, which was mistake when I discussed with you. You were mentioning it that because in PM in the study hall there is no break. You cannot pause. So I had to take it fully. And yours, I didn't realize you had time with the break. So I just I didn't take any breaks. So for me, the last 2 sessions was an issue. So I planned 80, 70, 80. So I took 81 minutes for the first session. I didn't review in any of the 3 sessions. The first session, I took 81 minutes. Second session, I finished with, again, 80 minutes. I finished in 70 minutes, basically. And then I had 80 minutes for the last session. For the last session, I had 5 minutes to go, but I was like, okay. To the end of the last session, I was pretty confident that, okay, I've cleared the exam. Or at least I've cleared it. Maybe I didn't get all above target, but I was pretty confident. I got used to that, not mumbling and reading, and I was pretty confident I've passed it. So I didn't review it. I just finished, and it was a pretty good score, actually.
That's good. It's a emotional shift up and down. Will I clear or not, right? That to middle of the exam, start thinking of how to write the second attempt.
Yeah, I'm like, and I was thinking like, okay, they're going to change the syllabus. I mean, like, because the new book came out, they might change the examination. So I have to write it before December. All this thought process is coming as I'm reading the question. I'm like, Kiran, stop thinking. That's next step after the exam.
Right. More than that, you will be thinking how to tell to my spouse, I lost my exam.
She was more nervous than me. She's like, oh my God, if this guy doesn't clear, that's it. He's gonna sit and because already I was complaining that I think I talked to you saying that the last 1 month I was not able to prepare properly because in my office it has been in the critical stage. I've been coming late and all those things. So it's like, oh my God, my wife was like, this is I cannot go through this the next 2 months. So she was more relieved when I passed the exam.
Right. She would have written an email to PMI, please make this clear the exam. Right. That's good. Nice. Good to know. That's a good tips, good information. And so you consider as what domain? Is it coming as manufacturing? It goes under what kind of domain you call it? Your job nature?
Here, it's proper predictive nature because of the in the domain it has all the 3, right? People, process, and business.
True. No, I'm talking about your work, because why I'm trying to map it to the exam. Your work nature is more with the people, isn't it? You work more with the people.
Exactly. And, yes.
All right. That will be tough.
People. Yeah. Actually, people. Yeah. People. And also process. Okay, yeah. Our nature is more people, because for us, internal client is our operations team, and we buy all the, the plant and everything from an external party. Right. So our main role in this company and the PMO office is for coordination, communication to link both our the manufacturing company and our internal clients. So
right,
yes,
right,
PP
right. You get into the paper pulp, that is the manufacturing part. So you involve the vendor, you involve the people.
Yes.
You have to bring things inside your company, check the quality standards of that, right? That's what your life is going to be.
Yes.
I'm sure many of your exam questions would be mapped, but when challenge would be on the agile area. When they say that your work has started in a well-planned way, from there I'm moving to agile. So there you will have a little challenge.
Agile was a little tricky, definitely. And then that was because I think because of the fact that they're just trying to only I think PMP's focus is not necessarily on very technical knowledge of agile, or this thing is more on the just the general knowledge, or on the understanding of how projects work and how in situational, right? So it was more balanced and not very technical, because I think you asked me to write your ACP's mock test. I was not writing the mock test for last 1 month, and you asked me to write 2 weeks before my mock test. So I mean, before my final exam, and when I wrote it, I got only 53%, and I was like, oh God, PMP exam was less, and I don't know if, because 50% of the question is related to PMP. But your mock does involve a lot of more technical, more in-depth agile, and here it's not very depth. And most of the questions are more hybrid on pure agile. So I think it's still manageable.
Perfect. That's a good point from you, because people are coming from different industries. Like you are from manufacturing. There are people from construction, infrastructure. They may not have idea about agile. So PMI Institute is not going deep inside this year, but I keep telling people next year they may.
Maybe.
They may increase
because,
it.
You see the PMBOK 7, I don't see any ITTOs. I don't see, it's just the concept, right? So I think
things are changing. Very good. Super. Happy to know that your success happened. Now, I'm sure you have to give a credit to your family for this achievement.
Yeah. My wife especially going through all of this, putting up with me for 3-4 months from July. July is when I started.
Okay. So now you definitely have to give a treat for her, and no more books after that. Should I say? Don't open the books, man.
Yeah.
That's good. Fine. You have any specific tips, notes for the people?
Yeah. I mean, basically, this. I think out of all these tips, the major tips is for me that helped a lot or improved my gap by a lot is the flashcards that I made, because I realized that the first because during your classes you asked me to take the mock, even though I've studied PMP and everything, which was 5 years back, you told me, okay, even though you're not ready, anyone can write it. So when I wrote it, I still got 60%. First was 50%, but second, third was all 60%. But I realized that it was always 60%. And the mistakes, what mistakes I was doing the same mistakes repeatedly, because that was my understanding. To understand or to get a grasp of that understanding is basically to know. I mean, that flashcard helped me to see that, okay, hey, what you're thinking is wrong, so it needs to be like this to change. Because if I write it down, if I'm reading, I'm just reading it, it doesn't necessarily get into my brain. I have to get it out of my brain, saying that this is the question, what is the answer? So that helped me a lot.
Good to know. There's a valuable tips there. And one more thing, when you saw the result, congratulations. Are you confident that you're going to clear? What was your feel by the time when you see the result?
because before this, I talked to Ramkanna, and then he mentioned that when I read this, I don't even know if I passed or not, because it just said congratulations and then thank you for writing the examination and all those things. So I was also like, okay, it came that let me wait for the certification. But because I did the exam well, I was just confident that, okay, I've cleared the exam. It's just a matter of this. But because I talked to Ramkanna, I was confident that, okay, it's the same thing happening again. And then let me just wait for the PMI website to update so that I can see.
Right. So I'm sure your wife would have been waiting near the door when this guy will tell I cleared, right?
Actually, she was having. She actually worked on Sunday, so she for her it's shift based. So Monday was off, so she was in the office. So she was waiting for my call. Because he was supposed to finish at 11:30. Why has he not called? Because I was trying to close. And then I called like around 12:15 because I was just closing this, and then I was trying to get the certification. It took, I think, 15-20 minutes for the certification to update to the
Right.
PMI's website.
Right,
So
right.
she was like, "Oh, thank God you."
Joy is different, actually. Super. Great, Kiran. First thing, thanks a lot for coming up here. I'm
Thank
sure
you so
your
much.
points about book reading, your points
Definitely.
about be careful with your laptop, points about having a flashcards and read the question carefully. So those are things really going to help people. I really
And
appreciate that.
also,
Mhm.
I highly recommend people to join your course because, to be honest, I was not intending to take street running because I've already done a master's. I understand the concept. I'll just read the question and go to the exam. That was my first uh, thought. And then, okay, you need 35 contact hours. I already bought a course in Udemy, and I thought, okay, I'll just do that. It's a matter of $10, and then I'll get it and then do it. And then when I talked to Ram Khanna and Chandramouli, they were mentioning that, okay, it's not just a course, it's like the whole process he's going to teach you. And also it's not, and again, most of the courses is just pre-recorded. Yours is a live session, and he said you're going to give a one-on-one coaching, and it's you. It's not like someone else or someone who's under you is going to do the one-on-one, because basically that's what happens everywhere that I've gone through. I think you're the first person where the teacher itself is doing the one-on-one coaching. So that actually really helped, and took me out of the other problems I have, whether with the application process or just if I have any issues to ask. I just full focused on the exam and just studying that. So I highly recommend
Super. Super.
your course.
Thanks. Thanks, Kiran. And thanks, whole Indonesia team for the test.
Yes, I was actually recommending to someone else in my company. Let me see if he's going
Oh,
to.
so every 1 month or other month, I'm getting Indonesia batch. Indonesia team is with us.
Yeah,
Happy, happy. Thanks for the trust. It all goes behind the trust, right? So even we can tell
definitely.
somebody has to take it and prepare it. So it's really go back to you. And again, thanks to all the viewers for watching this video. I'm sure Kiran has given a lot of inputs. Please take it seriously. At the same time, we may not able to copy the same way he prepared. You will have your unique way of preparation. Look for it, but definitely his tips will help you, right? So give your likes and comments for Kiran for his wonderful achievement. Again, back to you, Kiran. You will achieve more in life because I see you have an interest in learning masters in project management, then PMP. So it means that you made a ground laying very well. Now you have to start constructing building on top of that. So start doing that. I wish all the success for you.
Thank you so much, Sriram.
Thank you. Have a great time. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Bye-bye.